Welcome to the weekly VA chat. I am your host, Shaquana Hughes, and this is not a podcast. I do have a podcast and I do that every single week. But yes, welcome to the weekly VA chat. I am here. This is your personal strategy session. I am your virtual assistant guide to guide you through all of your questions and the things that you're going through in your virtual assistant. So, who am I? So, first of all, let me give you guys the run of show and how these go every single week. I am here every Friday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and 7 p.m. for my people that can't make it in the morning Central Standard Time. So that is 12 Eastern, 8 Eastern Time. And I do these for the people who have signed up for my VA in a Day virtual assistance course. I used to do it for the master class, and that has now stopped. Um, but for the people who sign up for my VA in a Day weekly course, so if you watch that course, you should have questions, you should have things that you are working through, and I am here to help you work through those things. So utilize me. This is a free session with me. Well, I guess you can say it's free. You've already purchased the course. But come and ask your questions and things like that. So you all should know about me, but I'm just going to give you a little update on who I am, just in case you haven't been able to get like really into the course. And then I'm going to do a mini training. It's going to be like 5 or 10 minutes long with my long-windedness. It may be a little bit longer. And then question and answer. So we can ask your questions. You may have some questions after I get through with the training, and that is how things is going to go. So first of all, let's get into who I am, and I'll give you guys a little glimpse into where I am in my business right now, just in case you've already seen my story, heard my story. But one thing that I think that is important is to teach while I'm talking, right? And so, one thing that is extremely important is for you to tell your story and for you to tell your story over and over and over again so that you can get used to saying it, so that you can get more comfortable saying it, so that people hear it multiple times and get to know you just that much, and that kind of thing. So, this is me teaching you. I'm telling my story so that you can get an idea of how you can tell your story and that so on and so forth. So, anyway, I am Shaquana Hughes. I am your virtual assistance guide. And today, I am a system strategist and virtual assistant. So what I do, I primarily focus on systems for people. So when you go to the doctor's office and you get those text messages and emails and things like that, just saying your appointment is in 24 hours, fill out this form before you come to your appointment, that kind of thing. I am the person on the back end setting all of that up. Isn't that so cool? Not for doctors though. I don't work in that space. I work with like creative, so website designer, SEO people, um, people that do like creative things for people because that's just like my lane, that's my space, right? And so that's what I do today. But I did start off in virtual assisting. So I was in the admin space for over 20 years. And I worked for a lot of companies, Fortune 500 companies, and working with CEOs. So I learned a lot in doing that. I worked with a lot of technology, a lot of systems and processes. Hey, Mahogany girl, thank you for joining me. And that kind of thing. So that's where I got my start. I started that way back when I was a sophomore in high school. And so I went to a business school, I went to regular high school, and then I went to a trade school to learn how to be a secretary, which is what we were called back then. And then I went right into the workforce, did that for most of my life, and wanted to become a stay-at-home mom and started into entrepreneurship once I decided I was going to stay at home with my children. I had two daughters at the time who are now 23 and 18. Can y'all believe it? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. And so That's kind of like my backstory. I've been in entrepreneurship since 2007. Oh my God, it's been almost 20 years since I knew anything about entrepreneurship. My mom dabbled in entrepreneurship, but not really. She mostly worked most of my life. So I'm kind of a first generation, I guess you would say. Well, not really, but we ain't gonna get into all that. But anyway, so that is my background. That's my background story. So, one question that I get all the time is how do you do it all? How do you fit everything into your life? In addition to being an entrepreneur, owning my own business, running the show, helping other people run their businesses, working in the technology space and all of that, I am also a mother. I have 5 children. Like I said, my oldest is 23 now, which comes with a whole different set of problems. For those of you who have little kids who think when they get grown, it's going to be all glorious, which I absolutely love and have an adult daughters, but it's a whole different ball game over here. So ranging from 23, my oldest is 23, and I have a set of twin girls, which I attribute my virtual assistance journey to them, and they turn 9 in February. So my babies, they're all in different facets of their life. So I'm dealing with the twins, they're going to school, they're coming of age, they're, 9 years old, so they're getting older. And then I have these adult children who are going through different things, navigating through adult life, trying to figure it out. So I'm a counselor and all of that type of thing as well, right? So that's a lot. In addition to that, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a best friend, like all of us. So you have all of these facets in your life. And then the women who are attracted to me in my coaching business, right? And I run a coaching business. Um, for older women. I'm 43. And so a lot of them are attracted to me because they are going through some of the same things that I am going through. They have older children or they are a mother. I was going through a divorce last year. They may be going through something like that. They may be becoming a new mother. Where they're just having a baby or going through some kind of transition in their life. So these are the people that are attracted to me. So there we are experiencing some of the same things, just navigating all of these different things in life, right? And so one of the things that I get asked a lot is how do you do everything that you do? Right. And the first thing I'm going to say when it comes to this, and a lot of what I say on these calls comes from my mind. I have notes and, I have a way that I want things to flow, but none of this is scripted or, I didn't practice this before I did it. So a lot of it is off the cuff because I feel like, it's more genuine that way. And I just teach better that way. I have little epiphanies while I'm talking and all that kind of stuff. So just rock with me, okay? Um, but the first thing that I would say is to prioritize what is important to you, right? And that is something that I had to learn. And I read a lot of self-help books. I'm in my 40s, so we trying to figure out the meaning of life and stuff like that now. So I read a lot of books. And one of the books that I've read in the last year, and then I'm actually reading again, if you're in the A New community, we are reading it together. It is called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, right? And in that book, it's not hokey or anything like that. If you're a religious person, it is it's in line with God and everything like that. But one of the things that is stated over and over again in that book is what you think, what you believe comes to pass, right? And in your business or in your life, what you prioritize becomes the priority, right? And so if you are thinking, I want to start this business, I'm going to start this business, but it's always on the back burner. It's always the last thing that you do, it's always the last thing that you think about. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be the last thing that comes to pass, right? If you put every single thing in front of it, those are the things. I told you I was talking about this today. those are the things that are going to take priority. Those are the things that are going to come to fruition first. So if you put your business on the back burner, if you put it at the bottom of the list, it's going to be the last thing that comes to fruition. It's going to be the last thing that comes up, right? And so you have to prioritize what is important to you. And I'm not saying prioritize your business, because we got kids, some of us have husbands, some of us have jobs, and things like that. So you have to prioritize other things in your life, but you also have to make your business a priority. If you want it to, you got to put that work in. You got to put the work in. And if it's the last thing on the list and you're never getting to it, you're never putting the work in. So it's never going to come to pass. Right. So think of it in those terms. And I'm going to give you guys some tips on how I do this in my life and how I was able to build a successful business because I made it a priority. And I have a lot of other things going on. Right. So the first thing is to prioritize, and I don't never have this stuff ready, but I have a hierarchy. I don't know if you all have ever seen like a hierarchy chart, like the food chart. We all grew up seeing the food chart and what's most important and all that stuff, right? So I have a hierarchy for my life, right? And I am the most important thing in my life, right? Without me, nothing else is happening, right? So, one thing, especially because I'm getting older in age, I have to prioritize my health, mental and physical, and that kind of thing. So, if you're putting yourself first and that's another thing that we put on the back burner. It's the last thing on the list. We got to take care of the kids. We got to cook. We got to do this. We got to do that. We got to make the money. We got to do this. So, we're always on the bottom of the list, right? When we need to be at the top. We need to be the priority because without us, nothing else can work out, right? And so I am at the top of my list. Some people feel like God should be, at the head of your list. And if you believe that, I, I'm with you wholeheartedly. I feel like if I'm taking care of myself, God is pleased with me. So God is happy. So He at the front. So I am the most important thing. So when I'm planning my days, when I'm planning my weeks, months, years, whatever the case may be, I'm always the first thing that I think about. I'm always the first thing that I plan out. Like I need to lose weight, for instance. And so that's the number one priority. I've struggled with my mental health over the last 10 years since I had my twins. And so I have to prioritize my mental health. So that's one and two. That's one and two. So what can I do? And it doesn't have to be anything long and drawn out, but what can I do on a daily basis that's going to honor me in health, mental and physical, right? Another thing, and it's just popped in my head. I told you might be going off course. Another thing that is important to me in my mental health and my physical health is finances, right? Your financial health is important because when you don't have the money and you're not able to pay your bills and you're not able to take care of your children, it affects your mental and your physical health. So if my mental and physical health is at the top of my priority list, my finances got to be at the top too, right? So whatever I need to do to make that happen has to happen as well, right? And so what can I do on a daily basis? Things that I do on a daily basis is I move my body, whether it started off as a 10-minute walk, 5-minute walk around a block or whatever, 10-minute walk. I would take the kids with me. So now we spending time together on the walk. We talking, we playing games, we doing this and that, right? Kill two birds with one stone. So now I walk 30, 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour. And it's more so to clear my mind. It's health and wealth. I'm getting two things done at once. So what can I do for myself that could be quick, that, is going to honor me, health, and all of those good things, right? Another thing that I do regularly is pray, meditate. It can be a 5-minute meditation. It can be a 5-minute prayer. It can be 5 minutes of you just laying back, just trying not to think about nothing or visualizing your life 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? So boom, I done got me out the way. My stuff is a little bit more extensive now, but I'm just giving you some small things that you can do to honor yourself and put you first, right? I work out every day for 45 minutes. I do a lot of different things, or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, to start with, that's where I started at, right? So I'm putting me first. I'm taking care of myself first. It don't have to be a long, drawn out spa day. It can be 5 or 10 minutes, right? So then the next thing in the hierarchy is my family, of course, my immediate family, my children. Um, their father is in my immediate family, always will be, always love. So the people in my children, all of that. So what needs to be done when it comes to that? You may need a job to support your family. Um, what do I need to do when it comes to that? I may need to make doctor's appointments. They may have a school event. I may need to schedule an appointment or something like that, or sign them up for some kind of program, or, communicate with their dad, or, something like that. And this is not all stuff that's done every single day, but that's always the next thing on my list. If I have something that has to do with my family, it's going to come before everything else, right? Again, you have to figure out, how you want to navigate that or how you want to work that, right? So I used to forget to pay bills. I would forget because I'm trying to do everything else outside of that. I used to forget to make appointments and do all of this and that and just try to handle things, after the fact because we don't have priorities. We don't have things set up the way we should, I believe. And so that's the next thing, right? Get that out the way. It could be something quick. It don't have to take your whole day, right? So then, the next thing after that is my extended family. So like my mom, my brother, my best friend, all that kind of stuff. I try to connect with them either via text message or phone or something like that. Those are things that feed your soul. Isolating yourself, not talking to people, all that kind of stuff, it isolates you, it makes you feel bad, that kind of thing. It depends on you as a person. We're not all the same, but staying connected with my family and that kind of thing. See, girl, I'm hitting on all fronts today. I told you. So, even if it's a text message telling my mom that I love her, even if it's a 5 minute conversation with my best friend, because I don't have a lot of time during the day. Hey, girl, what's up? It kind of, it makes me feel better again. So I'm taking care of myself too in that, right? And it's not every single day, but I'm not gonna go weeks, months, years without talking to people, right? You have to prioritize those things and you have to be intentional. Being intentional is so important, right? And when you have these things set up this way, you're able to be more intentional and you're not all over the place, right? And so then my extended family, and then my business, right? And so, or work, or whatever the case may be, which a lot of people have to go to work every single day from 9 to 5. But if I do, I'm getting that stuff done, whether it's 5, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever the case, before my work life or whatever. So then I prioritize for me, it's my business, and then I have different facets of my business. So I have my service-based business where I'm actually working with clients, doing work and stuff like that. Then I have coaching, and then I have a software business. So I have to prioritize those things. What's more important, blah, 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 or whatever, right? So you want to have some kind of hierarchy over your life. I'm telling you, this changed the game for me, right? You can steal my hierarchy, do it just like how I do it, or do it similar or switch it up altogether. But having some kind of priority over your life is going to be extremely important. And you're going to work that into your life however you need to work it into your life, right? So now that I have my hierarchy, one of the ways that I am able to make sure that I'm hitting on all of these things all the time and keeping some kind of order. Now, let me tell y'all, I'm finna get out the car here for just a second. In real life, like dealing with my kids, dealing with my mom, dealing with baby, they would tell you I am one of the most all over the place people you will ever meet in your life. I've never been diagnosed with ADHD because I've never looked into it, but 99.9999% I got it or whatever. So just all over the place. Like girl, what is you doing? Chicken with my head cut off. Okay, girl, what's going on? And so that's another reason why this is important for me, having that hierarchy and being able to get things done. Because if not, baby, ain't nothing getting done. It's like kids is out of whack, I'm out of whack, everything out of whack. So after I have my hierarchy, I know when what's most important to me. I know what's priority, right? Then I create rituals and routines. I'm going to give you guys a quick run over of what a day in the life or a week in the life of Shaquana looks like, right? So my weeks start on Sunday, right? That's my Monday. So on Sundays, I'm typically working most of the day, but I do walk in the morning, or when I get up, I sleep in on most Sundays. So I walk, so I get that done, take a bath, clean my room, like that kind of stuff. Get me out the way, get me done. I may rest, lay in bed. I like to read too. That's a whole nother subject. I might read a book, whatever case may be. So I take care of me first. I go for a walk. I'm done. I'm out the way. I'm prioritized. This usually by 11, 12 o'clock, I'm done with all that. Right. So then I go into work mode. My kids know that I work on Sundays. So don't bother me. Right. Which my kids are older. If you have little small babies, of course, they're not going to understand that. You got to work that however you have to work when they go to sleep or whatever the case may be. But they know don't bother me. I work all day on Sunday. I start off my work day with seeing what my work week is going to look like and, getting everything in order, for that makes me have a smoother week. And then I actually get into like client work or sending out emails to coaching clients or whatever the case may be with that or whatever. So that's that day. Monday is a meeting day for me. So I'm usually on the phone or on Zoom most of the day on Mondays. And it's so crazy because I love Mondays. People hate Mondays because I started my week off on Sunday. So I done got all the real hard stuff out on Sunday, right? Kids out of school. I ain't got to drop nobody off. I ain't got to pick nobody up, nothing like that. Da, da, da. So Sunday was cool too, actually. Mondays are easier because I already started my week. I already know what I got going on, started off. So then Monday, I'm usually in calls all day. I don't typically do a lot of work on Mondays because being on the phone all day, being on Zoom is kind of can be exhausting and your mind be going, 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 going. Right. So boom, that's usually what I'm doing on Mondays. Tuesdays is another work day for me. So I am working on client work. I'm working on so and so and so and so, or whatever, doing that type of thing or whatever, getting that done. Tuesday is also podcast day for me. I do my podcast on Tuesdays. And so then on Wednesdays is another call day for me. So I'm usually on calls all day on Wednesdays and Zooms, but actually I try not to start my calls until like 1 o'clock. So it give my morning some time for me to ease into the day. So my calls go a little bit longer on Wednesdays. After Wednesday, because I didn't work Sunday, I didn't work Monday, I didn't work Tuesday, I didn't work Wednesday. Baby, I'm starting to get low on my battery. So Thursdays are sacred for me. And may not be able to do this exactly how I'm doing it in the beginning, but Thursdays are sacred. Thursdays are my day. And so I'm usually laying around the house, meditating, praying. Like I just take that whole day just for me. If there are work things that have to be done, I may have to get some things done. Or if I slacked off earlier in the week because it happens, I may have to get some work done on Thursdays, but I save that for the evening or afternoon. But during the day, I'm chilling. I'm relaxing my mind, body, and my spirit. Like I love, 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 absolutely love Thursdays. Right. Boom. So that's Thursday. So then Friday, my battery's still dead from the rest of the week. So that's another day where I'm just kind of chilling, getting things done, yada, yada, yada type of thing or whatever. And then I do work on Fridays, client work, things that I didn't get done earlier in the week, that kind of thing. I spend time with my kids in the evenings after they get out of school. I try to have all my work stuff done early on Friday so I can, tend to them or whatever. And then Saturday, I just go with the flow. You got a question? Or you just wanted to see? Okay, cool, cool, cool. So that's what my week look like. That's what my week look like. So with that, I wanted to add that rituals and routines are so important. After I have my hierarchy, the way that my life flows is because I do pretty much the same thing every single day. So a lot of days I don't even have to think about what I got to do because I already know what I got to do. I got a phone call on Monday. I got client work on Tuesday. I got calls on Wednesdays. Thursdays is sacred. I can pray. I can lay down, whatever. I don't even have to think about it. So it makes life so much easier for me because I don't even have to think about what I'm supposed to do because I already know what I'm supposed to do. The week is already planned out. Right. And so rituals and routines is the next thing. If you can try to do the same type of stuff every single day, like Mahogany, you said you looking for a job. When I was thought I was going back to work, I would fill out applications on these days. I would follow up with companies on these days. You know what I'm saying? That way I'm not trying to do it every single day and it's not wearying me every single day. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna take Mondays and all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fill out applications all day. Tuesdays, I'm gonna follow up with the people, send them follow up messages, emails all day or whatever. But then people got to plan with me, baby, and start trying to have me do projects and stuff like that, and I wasn't getting paid. I said, you know what? Let me get on this phone, try to find me some clients. They did. I'm like, this ain't for me or whatever. So, but yeah, so having rituals and routines, doing the same thing constantly all the time, prioritizing yourself is the most important thing you can take out of this talk today is prioritizing you. Because remember what I said, what you think about, what you put effort into, what is most important to think to you is gonna come to fruition. The more you work on it, the more you concentrate on it, the more you think about it, all that stuff, that's what you're going to bring to pass. Right. So if you want to better you, but you putting you on the back burner, that's gonna be the last thing that come to pass. No, you need that to come to pass today. I need this yesterday. Okay. I needed this yesterday. So, boom. So you have that all together. So the first thing is knowing what's important to you. That's where that hierarchy comes into sticking to that, honoring yourself, and then creating rituals and routines around that, what it is that you're going to do regularly, right? And that's how I keep my life together, baby. That's how I deal with all the stuff that I be having going on, all the stuff that I have to do. I talk to my daughter every night at 9 o'clock. She tell me all her problems and we talk through it, whatever. One thing that we just started doing, me and her, because she said she was having a problem again. She's in college. I have two daughters in college. The oldest two is in college. And so she said she was having a problem getting her work done and it was starting to stress her a little bit, so we started doing happy hour. And what happy hour is like co-working, so we just get on a call on a Zoom. I told you I'd be a whole different problem when you got grown kids. Get on the Zoom and we just work. And so that's something that we started doing. I'm trying to help her get into, creating rituals and routines and, doing that kind of stuff too for herself, for her life. And so, I'm teaching her by doing. And so that's something that we are doing together and getting that done together. So that's something that we're incorporating. Caveat to everything I just said, everything is always gonna be perfect. Like I was sick a week ago. I couldn't get no work done, baby. I just was like, if it ain't have to be done, I did not do it. So then I spent like Thursday catching up. So I didn't get to have my sacred Thursday, whatever. So I had to get caught up on all the stuff because I wasn't feeling good. Stuff happened. The people that I work with, the type of business that I run, sometimes I have to put out fires. Sometimes I have to do this and that. But I will tell you one thing. That whole me thing that come first, I don't play about it. I do not play about that. So whatever fire is going on, I gotta pray, I gotta meditate, I gotta walk, I gotta go to the gym, I got to do something before I start putting out fires. Right. Um, and so, but everything is not gonna always be perfect. If you might have an off week where things just not going. But one thing that I can say, by creating those rituals and routines, by doing the same thing constantly all the time, by prioritizing certain things, it is so much easier for me to get back into the swing of things. So, like I said, I was sick. I wasn't going to the gym. I wasn't going to work out, stuff like that, whatever. If I didn't have rituals and routines, it would have been so hard for me to get back into what I needed to do. But because I'm constantly doing the same things every day, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, it's so much easier for me to get back into it. So that's another reason why you want to incorporate these things into your life, because even if you get off track, because we do, life is life, it'll be easier for you to get back into it. And so that's what I got for y'all today. Do you have any questions or anything that you wanted to like talk through or anything like that today?
The only thing was like, okay, I know when I signed up and did the 9 week thing, which I still haven't finished. Um, it was like it was you was saying like how you could go to the different websites to set up everything. And so is that pertinent to having that completed before you reach out to try to get clients because you want to seem more established?
Mm, no, no.
Okay.
I think I told you this before, but I'm gonna say it again. Even if you start reaching out to clients and you're not established
Mhm.
and they see that you're not established and they say, no, I'm cool on you, starting
Mhm.
to market yourself, starting to reach out to people is something that you want to start to do immediately so that you can get into the habit of doing it, rituals and routines.
Okay.
Say it all the time. It's to habit to do it. And when you start doing it, you may run into somebody that might not care. I need somebody right now. I don't care what you got going on, right?
Yeah.
But prioritizing those things and working on those things, regularly, then you
Mhm.
don't have to worry about that. A lot of stuff I do in my life, I do it because I just want to get it done and get it off my mind. So if in
Mhm.
the back of my mind I'm saying I need to get on this website, I need to give me a domain name, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. I just do it so I can just get it off my mind. Like I'm just gonna
Mhm.
do this so I can stop doing it. So if you're doing a little bit constantly every day, just so that you can get that stuff off your back, I highly recommend it. But you don't need anything but what them people need you to do to be able to start your business, to be able to get clients.
Okay.
Waiting, putting it off, all that stuff. Don't do that.
Okay. So that was my main thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything else, I'm gonna just like you said, just prioritize. Which, like when you were saying, I do have that tendency to be like a scatterbrain, where
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh yes, I got to do this. Oh yeah, I forgot I need to do this and stuff like that. And then I do have smaller kids. There, I have four that's 8 and under, and then I have a 19-year-old that's going to be 20 that I'm trying to help him push him out the nest. So I am all over the place, in that aspect as well. So I do, like you said, just I'm gonna try, like what you said, to do the hierarchy and just start prioritizing and get more organization. And I think that's why I'm so scatterbrained because I don't have anything organized and prioritized.
Mm-hmm.
So when it pops in my head, then I'm like, instead of having a plan in place, I'm like, oh, well, I can go do this now, and I still haven't finished this one thing. So, and I think that's what makes me get like, overwhelmed, frustrated, all of the above. So,
Mm-hmm. 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 And just take it one day at a time. Like you're
mhm.
gonna have slip up, you're gonna have off days, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
But the goal is to get in control of our lives, right? Get in
Yeah,
control of your life. And that's like one of the things when people think about being an entrepreneur, owning your own business, yada, 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 or even if you got a job, making the money that you want to make at your job or whatever the case may be, it's really about freedom and having control over your life. Right. That's what it all boils down to. And so if you can get to that point, I feel like I have control over my life now. I have, dominion over me, you
yeah,
know, then it's just a great that's the end goal of it all. Right. So the
yeah.
sooner you can get to that point, the sooner you can, get to the peace of life
Okay.
is what that is. And so when you think about not doing the things that you want to do, you know, and I'm pretty sure we done talked about planning and stuff like that and knowing what you want your life to look like in a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, stuff like that. Keep those things in mind when you want to just not do nothing or when you putting this over that or you know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
the stuff that I'm doing today is working towards the life that I want in 5 years. So if I don't do these things, I'm not going to have those things. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hmm.
So, but yeah, and just take it one day at a time. And every day not gonna be perfect. Every day not gonna look like how you want it to look, but just take it one day at a time and do it instead of saying,
Okay. Well, I
but you
thank
got
you.
this. You got this. You be showing up. You been showing up. You did my first client challenge. You got the courses and all that stuff. Like you got this. This is the beginning of it. So you doing the right
I did
thing.
have a question. How we did the challenge or whatever. My first client, or however it was. How you were saying you did that the only 2 days for the $1,000. So what is the regular price for that? Because I do want to do that. And just get a little more one-on-one to kind of push me in that right direction and just have that accountability for myself.
Mhm.
So I know you did it for the $1,000 those 2 days. So what is it after that?
For the $1,000, don't worry about it. We're gonna work together on it when you're
Oh,
ready. Just
okay.
focus on it. We'll work together on it. I see you showing up and I see you doing it. So I'll work with you on it. And did I talk about the payment plan? So it's 550 to start. No, I
Mm-mm.
did.
Do that.
Yeah, we could break it up into a payment plan if you
Okay.
want us to do that as well. So
Okay.
yeah, I think that'd be good for you. I think that'd be good.
Mhm.
I think that's good for anybody who just starting out because baby, you need somebody to walk you through it. And so you're
Mhm.
not trying to figure it out all on your own.
Mhm.
So if you want to get started in May, we can work it out for you to get started in
Okay.
May. Just let me know.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's gonna be my goal. I'm gonna shoot towards that. So you said it's like the 550 is the initial and then
Mm-hmm.
everything else will be broke up. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, for sure. So just let me know. Reach out to me and I'm still gonna be checking on you.
Okay.
So keep
I'm
it
that lost
together.
baby. So
Keep it together. Keep it together. But you're
okay.
on the right track. You on the right track. You doing
Mhm.
everything right now.
Okay. Yes,
So
ma'am.
keep doing what you're doing, girl.
All right. Thank you.
All
Yes.
righty. Thanks for joining me.
No
Bye bye.
problem. Bye.